Hey everybody, welcome to another action-packed, exciting episode of Scotty's Record Shop. As you see by the thumbnail, we're going to address a good chunk of the albums by the band Yes. Not all of them. I have most of them, but I'm specifically looking at the era from 1969 to 1987. Honestly, for a reason. I don't want a good reason, actually, for me. But and I'll explain it to you briefly, so we're not spending all that time. Before I do that, though, I just want to say thank you to all of you who watch these videos. I got a message, and I have not had a chance to message this person back yet from my last video, where he had, said, I don't know if you're looking at these or addressing these comments anymore, but I've been watching your videos since I was a teenager. It's like, wow, it really has been that long that I've been making these silly little things. So I really appreciate you for watching these silly things, even though there was a big gap, but you coming back and still watching these silly things. And I will do my best to send you a nice little note, maybe a Christmas card or something. I don't know. Box of chocolate. Who knows? But I do appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, so why am I only looking at a specific era of Yes? Um, I've heard all of the Yes albums. Like I said, I have some of the albums that came after. Well, a turning point for me was this, and this was good, um, a very good album. Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe. Um, it's a really good album. Really, really good album. A return to form, especially after Big Generator, which we'll address. And I had my hopes up, and then we get things like Union. And when I heard this was coming out, it was like, wow, all of these guys that were in Yes at one point or another are all getting together. And this is going to be fantastic. You're going to have the poppiness, but the progressiveness. No. This turned out to be a Clive Davis special, which begs the question for some of you long-term fans of Yes, or deep fans of Yes. Did Clive Davis ruin Yes? Not just with this album, but this seems to be a turning point. We get that, then we get Talk, and these other. They just, to me, I couldn't connect to them. And there have been some albums since then that were kind of okay. I know that some of you long-term Yes fans are like, what are you talking about? They're great. I just can't. Great musicianship, I'll say that about them. Fantastic musicianship. The guy that's singing for Yes now, that has taken John Anderson's place and has been there for quite a few years, excellent singer. The band that Steve Howe has is a great band. If you go see them live, they do a lot of full albums and stuff. Now that's one of their little things that they do to draw you in. They do a great job. It's Steve Howe's Yes. I just don't feel connected to it. Although Steve Howe is one of my favorite guitar players. He still is. And his work, and like I said, the work on those albums, more recent albums, the musicianship is fantastic. No denying. I just can't connect to him. So I just figured this is a period of time. There was also a box set, The Atlantic Years, which actually I took for the thumbnail. And I just thought, okay, that's a good closing point, because things really started going wrong towards the end of that. And we're going to get right into that now. So these are my feelings towards these albums. I am not the biggest progressive rock fan. I like some progressive rock, but and when I say some of these groups, you're going to go, oh, you don't like those groups? It's not an issue of not liking them. It's an issue I just don't get it. It's not for me. King Crimson, the mother of all progressive rock bands, I just don't connect with them. Some stuff's really good. Some of it is just like I just can't connect. And I'm glad that you love them, and they are the beginning of progressive rock. I mean, they're where it starts, really, with the first album. Gentle Giant, my friend Roger is losing his mind because he loves Gentle Giant and just does not understand why I just don't understand them. Massively great musicians. I don't connect with it. The albums that I like the most by them are the least are the more commercial albums that most of their fans hate. It's weird, but anyway, I do like Yes, um, and I like most of these albums. A couple of these albums, when I decided a couple weeks ago I'm going to do this, I wanted to go back and revisit and be fair because I had like, but I think these albums are shite. They're just so. And honestly, I was really in the mood for them, and one of the albums that I listened to, which we'll get to, obviously, went up a little bit because it was like, wait a minute, this isn't really as bad as I really kind of imagined it, and it's a very, very popular album um, in their catalog. So anyway, let's get to it. So I won't waste all your day here. At the bottom for me, really things started going wrong. This is 90125 Part 2, and it is what it is. Big Generator from 1987. There's some good songs on here. There are really, really some decent songs on this, but this is at the point where John Anderson looked at this, and I'd heard a story about him being in a hotel room, and he was listening to this. It was newly out. They were on the road, and he felt nothing for this. He felt just no feelings for this. It was just there, and he didn't feel connected to it at all, and it wasn't him, and it wasn't what he was about, and obviously that's why he left and joined with some other members of Yes that had left over the years and made this, because he wanted to go back to what Yes was to some extent. And I agree with him. This is just another attempt to have hits. Awesome playing on here, a couple of good songs, but for me, this is at number 12. We've got 12 albums we're looking at, by the way. Number 12 for me, Big Generator. Number 11, a point where, if this was the point where Yes was falling apart in the 80s, this was where Yes was falling apart in the 70s. Depending on where you live, it's tomato or it's tomato. There's some good songs on here, but you can tell that they were tired. John Anderson would leave right after this as well. This would be the first time he left for just an album, but it just I don't know, just doesn't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. If you're a long-term Yes fan, you feel the same way I do. It was dying here. There's, like I said, there's some good songs on this. You can look at the track listing. There's some decent stuff on here, but it's just not what it was for them. That's number 12. Number 11. These two albums kind of go back and forth for me. The next two, and it is their first two. We're looking at the very first album, 1969. What suckered me into this was the version of Every Little Thing. Their remake of the Beatles' Every Little Thing, but this is a really good album. Nothing to be ashamed of here for a debut album by this band. It's not quite the Yes that we would know. It's kind of more psychedelic. It's progressive, but it's not the long, majestic Yes that we would get, that we love, that hopefully you love. You must love Yes to some extent because you're watching this video. So at number 10 from 1969, the very first album by Yes, obviously. The next one, again, like I said, these two flip-flop for me. We're getting a little closer to what Yes would be on this album. Second album, still the original lineup. No Steve Howe, no Rick Wakeman yet. This has a lot of orchestration on it, but we're getting more progressive. We're leaning more towards, like I said, what Yes is going to become on their next album. But this is a good album. It's a good listen. From here on, I enjoy these albums for the most part. So at number 9, because I've got kitty cats, I think, trying to break into my room. I have a lot of kitty cats in this house. So anyway, at number 9, Time in a Word. Okay. Number 8, this is going to, hot take, going to piss some of you off, but you knew this was coming, some of you. Okay. Tales from Topographic Ocean. I sat down and listened to this again a couple days ago because I really want to give this album a fair shake. Now, I think it's important to understand, I get why some of you think this is just the greatest thing that they ever did. For those of you who don't know, this is basically 4 songs on a double album. Or 4 movements, 4 pieces of music. And this was where Rick Wakeman left. He felt that there was, in his own words, there's a lot of padding on here. This album is best, this is my opinion, but I've heard other people say this too, and I agree. This album is best to digest one side at a time. Listen to one side, then put it away. Then come back and listen to the next side and put it away for a little while. There's a better choice, because if you sit down and if this is too much, this is sensory overload for me. You've got Johnny Anderson, who is gone to a complete, I mean, I watched a video about what this album is about, and I walked away from that more confused than I was with not knowing what it was about. John Anderson left planet Earth for a little while, and he came back with these lyrics, and you know it's mystical, Hindu, Buddhist, something, a lot of pot. Okay, I haven't smoked in 35 years. Maybe if you smoke a lot of weed and you sit and you listen to this, you get it. Actually, the funny thing is back when I was smoking weed, I listened to this and I still didn't get it. But there are some great moments on this, no doubt. And again, it's got the curse of the double album. And you know how I feel about double albums. We say this in every stinking video. You know, and this is a prime example of an album that should not have been a double album. My opinion. I don't mean to insult again. I've said this more than once. Those of you who have this at number 1 or number 2, and I know who some of you are, and it's great. It's cool. Way too much for me. So, Tales of Topographic Ocean at 8, I believe. Is that where we're at? Something like that. Let's see here. 8. Yes, 8. Okay, number 8. Number 7. I like this album, and I think there's a lot of Yes fans that are kind of like, this wasn't supposed to work. This was after Tomato, and it was a kind of a different band. You have the Buggles, the members of the Buggles coming in and replacing people, and what we got was Drama from 1980. I like this album. It's different. It's the first place where you really hear kind of that progressive, hard-edged progressive kind of coming into pop sensibilities, kind of, in a way. And I just think this is a great album. I just think it's one of the most underrated Yes albums there is. Obviously, you get Close to the Edge and all that stuff. Those are obvious, wonderful albums. Give this one another chance, okay? If you haven't heard it in a long time, and you remember it being give it another listen, because that's what I was doing. And actually, with this next album that's coming up, it's what I did, and it went up. But at number 8, something like that, I'm gonna Drama. I think that was 7, actually. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was number 7. Number 7, of course, Drama. Number 6, like I said, I went back. This was one of 2 albums that I went back and I said, I need to give both of these, Tales of Topographic Ocean and this one. I need to give them this album another listen. And I really need to be in good space. Something about really being in the right frame of mind to listen to something makes a difference. You can get it. And I also encourage people, um, just because you don't care for something on the first listen, give it some time. I'm not saying necessarily I don't like this album, I'm going to go out and buy it and waste my money and maybe never like it. And if it's a genre of music that you don't like, obviously you're probably never going to like it. But if it's a band, and if a lot, I look at it like this: if a lot of people really like an album, it doesn't mean that I have to like it, but I want to try to give it a chance. So if I don't like it, and there's some albums, maybe someday I'll make a video of music that I don't like or don't understand that I want to like. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about that. There's a list of people that are going to shock you, and artists that you're going to go say, "What? They're brilliant." I know you say they're brilliant, but I don't get it. This was one of those albums that's high on the list that I just couldn't connect with, and I kind of connect with it now. I'm talking about Relayer from what, 75? Different keyboard player. Uh, Wakeman had left. This is kind of a weird album because this is kind of their foray into not progressive. Obviously, they're a progressive band, but fusion. Imagine Yes doing some segments of like fusion, jazz fusion, and they do here, and it works for the most part. The first track, which is all of side one, which is Gates of Delirium, which is John Anderson going off, but when lyrically going off, but when I watched a documentary about this album, and it was explained, it's like, okay, I kind of get it. It's a kind of an anti-war. This is coming along at the end of World War II, yeah, coming along after Vietnam and the disillusionment of all of that. And just John Anderson, if you don't know John Anderson, it's all peace and love and granola and Ali Krishna and all this other stuff. He doesn't quite get the whole, there's, the yin yang kind of concept, I guess, if you want to call it, where there's good and there's bad in the world, and why can't there just be all good? Why can't we just all love each other? Okay, everybody sing with me, Kumbaya, my lord, right? That's John. That's the way John is, and but this one, he really, if anything, gets negative at times with Gates of Delirium, but it's a great song. I don't know why I didn't connect with it. Sound Chaser is one of the songs everybody goes after on this album. Says great, and it's my least favorite. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's my least favorite. I find it to be so aggressive at times, so intense that it's almost too much for me a little bit. The other thing that I will say on this, that this is a personal not a complaint, but a personal, like, this I believe is going to be the next album that's going to get remixed. Right, because they just did last year. They did Close to the Edge. No, this year they did right. They did Tales from Topographic Oceans. Why the hell would you want 10 discs or 12 discs of this? Never mind. Anyway, so hopefully they do this. And one thing I hope they do is on side one, if you're a vinyl person, Gates of Delirium. In the middle of that. Steve Howe does some amazing guitar work. This has got some of his best guitar work on it. But in the mix, it's really kind of maybe too loud. And the effects on it are a little kind of grating a little bit, kind of sharp, I guess. So if it was down just a little bit in the mix, just a little bit, I think it would be a little easier. And this might even go up a little higher for me. But a good album. Number 6, Relayer. By the way, just a little thing on this Cacophony masterpiece. It's a masterpiece, kids. I believe it's on side 4. Anderson talks about a relayer, spiritual relayer, someone who, kind of like in Christian terms, would be a prophet. Kind of somebody who's relaying a message. That's what a relayer is. So anyway, number 6 for me, Relayer. We're getting into we're really getting into the cream of the crop now. These top five are just very little I can find wrong with any of these. So, honestly. Going for the One. Great, great, great album. Fairly accessible too, I think. After Relayer, I think that they kind of came back down to earth a little bit on this one, and I don't mean that as an insult necessarily. But after Tales and Relayer, this is just a little more accessible to people, and it really did well. A great album by S. Do I have much to say about this other than it's just a great album? I really like this album. I've liked it since it came out. Just a fabulous. You can pause. You can see the track listing on that, baby. Very good album. 1977? Was this 77 or 76? 77, I believe this came out. All right. This one is going to piss some people off. But it is what it is, okay? It's number 4 on my list, and I love this album. It's pop. But it's progressive pop, which bands like, you can shit on them all you want, but like Asia is a perfect example of how a bunch of progressive dudes got together and started doing more accessible pop music. But still, it was intelligent and it was well played and it's complex. But it's I can't remember who. It might have actually been Steve Howe that said this, but something. And I'm paraphrasing big time here, but it was like, yeah, you write these big, long, majestic pieces, but try to put all of that splendor and glory and everything into a 4-minute or a 3-minute piece of music and express everything you're thinking and feeling in that short of time. And that's harder than writing these big, long, expansive pieces where you have time to go where you want to go and goof around a little bit and show your chops, This is a good example. 1983. 90215. I like this when it came out. Yeah, Owner of a Lonely Heart it's very poppy. But I'll tell you, Changes, you got polyrhythmic patterns going on in here. In the beginning especially. All that polyrhythmic stuff going on, time signatures. Not a lot of pop music has polyrhythmic time signatures where you listen to it and you go, yeah, it's jarring, but it's so cool. And I get it. I mean, very few people could get even maybe this, but definitely like, Relayer or something like that. But pretty much everybody could get this, even though there was definitely complexity to this album. It's a great, great, great album. And I Changes, honestly, if I made a top 10 list of songs by S that I love, Changes would be on it because it is a masterpiece. Plain and simple. It is just amazing what they did on that song. And obviously, there are other great songs on here. They got 3 singles off this, or 3 or 4 songs that at least got played on rock radio. So they did really quite well. It's too bad that they ran out of gas by Big Generator because they were trying. This was, this Big Generator was going to be volume number 2 of this. And it just didn't quite work, as obviously I said. All right, top 3, and probably everybody knows these, but would, for the most part, a lot of people would put these. Fragile. This is where, yes, really, this is the bridge, kind of. I'm not going to show where this came from, but so you've got this album, the S album, then you've got this, and then you've got it all capsulated to this. But let's deal with things in proper order, shall we? What a great album. Oh, one of my cats is coming in again. Oh boy. My cats like progressive rock, right? You like progressive rock, right, baby bear? You want to get up here? Let me show you. Get over here. Probably you won't like this. You want to see a big ass cat, people? Look at this guy. This is a big ass cat, right, buddy? You didn't say hi. He's a good boy. All right, there you go, Chunky. Fragile, great album. Obviously people know this from Long Distance Runaround, and of course their first entry into Top 40 Radio, which was Roundabout. Great album. This is when Rick Wakeman joined for the first time, and it just brought this band to another level. This is a fantastic album. 1972, right? Yeah, 1972. Just a great album. I think I don't have to sell this to you guys. You know that this is a great album. Number 3, Fragile. Number 2, the Yes album. First album with Steve Howe. And Steve Howe, and there's no disrespect to Yes's first guitar player, or those two albums. They're great albums, but this was really where Yes started to be Yes. Really, you saw signs of it on Time of the Word. This is where it really kind of cranks up a little more. And the addition of Steve Howe just brought this to a new level. And they've got several, hold that so you can see the several radio staples that came off of this album. This was really the first Yes album that FM radio really took to, and kind of this is really where their career took off. And again, thanks in part to the incredible guitar mastery of Steve Howe. Did I tell you that I like Steve Howe? That guy's just unbelievable guitar player. Anyway, number 1, probably most everybody's number 1. You know what's funny about this too is when I was younger, this was not my number 1. I was not, like I said, I was not a huge progressive, especially when I was a teenager, a younger teenager, in the in the late 70s, very early 80s. I didn't like elongated progressive rock. It's like, just cut it down, get to the point, stop showing off. We all know you're good. Cut the crap, okay? Obviously, my tastes have changed. I understand it. I don't like elongated music for the sake of making elongated music and showing your chops. I mean, if that's all you're doing and there's no feeling behind it and there's nothing behind it, then you're wasting my time personally. This album does not waste my time. Close to the Edge, my favorite Yes album. This is, to me and to a lot of other people, this is Yes at their peak. They took it as far as they could go. I think if this, obviously this is called Close to the Edge, Tales from Topographic Oceans, would be jokingly called Over the Edge. But this is Close to the Edge. They have the side one, Close to the Edge, just an amazing piece of music. It had multiple parts, which Yes was really well known for. Just an amazing piece of music. Yeah, oh my God, just and You and I, starting off side 2. I mean, it's just one of, in my opinion, if not, I'm going to put some thought into this. Do I want to say this is the best progressive rock album ever made? Coming from someone who's not a huge progressive rock aficionado, maybe you'll forgive me if I say that this is the best progressive rock album ever made. Maybe you'll agree with me. But to me, this is cream of the crop, number 1, top of the charts. Number 1 for me, for Yes. Close to the Edge. Alrighty, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. I do appreciate. I try to read. I'm back to work again, which is a great thing. Because I can buy more music now, can't I? And do more content. Isn't that wonderful? Because I'm not like some of you who get tons of crap from the record companies. I buy it all myself. But if you are a record company and you want to send me stuff, it's okay. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. What's your like top 5 Yes albums? You love Tales from Topographic Ocean? Do you think I'm nuts? Do you think I should give it another listen? Maybe you think I should get stoned and listen to it? I'm not going to do that for you. I've walked away from that. But what do you think? Questions, comments, concerns down there. And like, subscribe, please, and share. I am trying to, I'm doing this for fun, but I am trying, I'd be happy to see this thing grow. It's funny because I'm kind of losing subscribers, but I'm gaining views. Does that make sense even? I don't know, you guys. I don't know. But I've lost a couple subscribers, but I've got quite a few views. So, good. Anyway, until next time, everybody, peace and love.